Let's talk about crypto regulation. It's this massive, complicated puzzle that has some of the world's biggest economies completely tied up in knots. But while they're all struggling, one small nation seems to have cracked the code with a surprisingly simple solution. Today, we're going to break down exactly how Singapore got so far ahead of the game.
So, on one side of the ring, you've got giants like the US and Japan. They are just stuck in the mud, caught in these endless political battles, trying to write massive new laws from scratch. And on the other side, you've got Singapore, just moving full speed ahead. And the craziest part? They're doing it without a single, big, new, crypto-specific bill.
And that really is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? How on earth did they manage to just sidestep the exact same debate that has other countries completely gridlocked? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap. First, we'll look at the global puzzle and why everyone else is stuck. Then, we'll see Singapore's super practical answer. After that, we'll break down their two boxes framework, explore why it's just plain smarter, and we'll wrap up with a big question for the future.
All right, Section 1. To really get this, we've got to start with the problem itself. All around the world, there's this huge cloud of uncertainty, and it really all boils down to one single fundamental argument that nobody can seem to agree on, and this is it. This is the question at the absolute heart of the gridlock. Is Bitcoin like a stock? Is it like gold? Or is it something totally new that needs its own special rulebook? And while all the politicians and regulators are busy arguing about it, the entire industry is just left waiting in limbo.
Okay, so that's the mess. Now let's look at how Singapore just stepped right around it. Instead of getting bogged down in these philosophical debates, they took a remarkably pragmatic path, using the legal tools they already had.
So the first giant leap forward didn't even come from politicians. It came from the courts. This was huge. Back in 2023, a landmark ruling officially declared that crypto is property, and that one decision changed everything. It gave digital assets real legal standing. It means they can be owned, they can be put in a trust, they can be fought over in a court of law, just like your house or your car.
Now, the legal key that unlocked all of this was this term, chose an action. I know, it sounds super formal, but it's really just a fancy legal phrase for intangible property, stuff you own but can't physically touch. Think a company's share, or even a debt someone owes you. By classifying crypto this way, they didn't have to invent a whole new legal category. They just fit it neatly into one that already existed. It was a masterstroke.
So with the courts settling the crypto is property question, that cleared the runway for Singapore's regulators, the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And what they rolled out was this brilliantly simple framework for managing it all. They call it the two boxes approach.
And the approach is just incredibly straightforward. The regulators just ask one basic question. What does the token actually do? If it acts like a security, gives you voting rights or a share of profits, bam, it goes into the financial asset box. That means it's covered by the Securities and Futures Act, with all of its really strict investor protection rules. But if it acts like money, if it's used for payments, it goes into the digital money box, and it's regulated by the Payment Services Act, which focuses more on stuff like anti-money laundering and keeping users' funds safe.
And just like that, you get clarity and you get efficiency. There's absolutely no need for years of debate over some brand new crypto act. They just use the strong, well-understood laws that have been on the books for ages. It's all about function, not form.
And because those huge foundational questions are already answered, Singapore gets to just leapfrog everybody else. They aren't stuck arguing about definitions anymore. They're already busy building, focusing on the real, practical nuts and bolts of creating a safe and innovative digital asset ecosystem. So what does that actually look like right now? Well, for one, they're forcing exchanges to keep customer funds in a totally separate legal trust. This is a game changer. It means if an exchange goes bankrupt, your assets are legally protected from their creditors. Your money isn't their money. And at the same time, they're actively working with huge banks on tokenizing real-world assets, helping to bring things like government bonds onto the blockchain.
Okay, so why is the entire global financial industry looking at Singapore and thinking, wow, they really nailed it? Well, it really just comes down to a simple, pragmatic philosophy that is the total opposite of the political drama we see playing out everywhere else. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures Singapore's whole no-nonsense attitude. They're not treating crypto like some mysterious alien technology from another planet. They're just looking at what it does, and then regulating it like anything else that does the same thing.
And this approach gives them three massive advantages.
First, it's basically future-proof. Tech moves way faster than politics, and this framework can adapt instantly to new innovations. Second, you get clarity. Businesses know the rules of the road from day one. There's no guesswork. And third, it separates the useful technology from all the speculative hype, focusing only on what a token actually does.
This is probably the best way to think about the difference. In a lot of places, companies complain about regulation by enforcement. That's where you don't even know you've broken a rule until you get a massive fine or a lawsuit. It's like a cop giving you a speeding ticket on a road with no speed limit signs. Singapore, on the other hand, just posts the speed limit clearly for everyone to see.
And all of this brings us right back to the rest of the world. I mean, when you see how much smoother and more effective Singapore's put-it-in-a-box method is, you really have to wonder, is this the future for everyone?
So what do you think? Will other countries eventually be forced to adopt this kind of pragmatic, function-based approach? Or are they just too bogged down in their own political turf wars to find such a simple solution? It's a question that really could define the entire future of digital finance. If you found this breakdown insightful, do me a favor and like the video. It really helps it reach more people who are curious about this stuff. Thanks for watching.